Hi smart people, Mr. H here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through Aleks 7-2 Part 1, Division Property of Exponents. This video is for Math 1 student. Alright, we're going to look at question number 1. So evaluate and write your answer as fractions. They don't want you to write a decimal number, they want you to write your answer in fractions. Alright, we're going to look at the first one. 5 squared is basically 5 times 5. And -3 at the bottom. So that will give you 25 over -3. Did you know that you can also put the negative sign in the middle to make it look nicer? Okay. You can also write as -25 over 3. They all represent the same thing. Okay. But as for this problem, it will look nicer when you put it in -25 over 3 like this. You don't have to do this. It's not wrong, but you don't have to do it that way. All right, now we're going to look at the second part. So we have -3 over 4 to the third power. All right, so how do we solve for this? So negative sign is outside of the parenthesis, so that not repeated. One more time, the negative sign is not repeated because it's outside of the parenthesis. We just keep it there, okay? The 3/4 is the one repeat 3 times. So we will have the following. So 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 3 times. All right, so I will do is carrying the negative sign over. That will be negative. Of the numerator, you have 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. You can write down as 27 over 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And that is the lowest term because 27 is the factor of 3 and 64 is the factor of 4 3 times or factor of 2 6 times. Okay, so that's it. That's the answer for question 1. All right, we go into problem number 2. Okay, it's kind of the same idea. So we have the negative outside of parentheses, so we just carry it over. The one that repeat twice is 5/4. So 5 over 4 times 5 over 5 over 4. So bring over the negative sign. 5 times 5 is 25 and 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, bring over the negative sign. All right, we're going to look at the next one. 4 to the third power over 3. So 4 to the third power is 4 times 4 times 4, 3 times, over 3. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64 over 3. And that's it. All right, number 3. Number 3. Okay, we're going to simplify in this. All right, so the power of 5 is 1. The power of x is 1. And we know that if we have the power on top of another power, we're going to do is distribute it in, multiply power to the power. Right? So -5, we keep the parenthesis for the number 5 because of the negative sign. -5 to the third power, x to the third power, and y to the 12, because 4 times 3 is 12. Then we have to work it out. What is -5 to the third power? So basically, it's -5 times -5 times -5 3 times. Right? -5 times -5 is 25 positive times -5 is -125. So the answer is -125, x to the third power, and y to the 12. And that's it. That's the answer. All right, number 4. Okay, so same idea. First, you're going to write the power for the number or letter doesn't have power. So in this case, we're going to put 1 for number 2. We distribute 5 into parentheses, powers to the power. So x to the 15, -2 to the fifth power, y to the 10. All right, so that will be x to the 15. Negative 2 to the fifth power. Negative 2 to the fifth power. It's just like negative 2 time itself 5 times. 3, 4, and 5. All right. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Another positive 4. And we bring down the negative 2. 4 times 4 is 16. Times negative 2 is negative 32. So this is negative 32. Y to the 10 power. All right. The only thing that I think you may make mistake is the sign. Okay. If you don't put the negative sign inside a parenthesis, you may end up with the answers positive or negative. Coincidentally, get the negative, which is correct in this problem. One more time, make sure you put the parenthesis and write it down as many times as the power indicate, and then work it out. Okay. Do not ignore the negative sign. All right, problem number 5. Problem number 5. 20 over 36 A, B, C. So we can reduce the number, right? 20 over 36. I can reduce this one by, I would say by 4. Yeah, by 4. Reduce it by 4. So that will give you 5 over 6. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. Sorry, it's 9. 9. All right. A is A because there's no A at the bottom. B divided by B. B divided by B is 1 on each, right? And C divided by C is 1 on each. So 5A times 1 times 1. 9 times 1 times 1 is just like 5A over 9. Okay. One more time. I didn't use the term cancel out because they divide out evenly, give you 1. If we say cancel out not in the correct way, you may think the answer is 0, but it's not 0. They divide out as 1. So that's why 5, 8, and 9 stay exactly the same where they're at. If we use the term cancel out, you may think it's 0, then you will say my final answer is 0 because 5, 8 over 9 times 0 is 0, which is wrong. Okay, so be careful on that. Problem 6, so we're going to reduce this one by 5. 25 divided by 5 will give you 5. 30 divided by 5 will give you 6, right? And there's no W on the top, so we keep the W. X and X divide each other out, give you 1 on each. And Y divide each other out, give you 1 on each. So 5 times 1 times 1 and W, 6W times 1 times 1. That would be 5 over 6W. That's it. All right, number 7. All right, we can rewrite using single positive exponent. Okay, now we can use the quotient rule, which we can been using it the whole time. But this one is more indicate I feel like they want you to use the quotient rule right now. So 4 to the 9 divided by 4 square, it's just 4 to the 9 minus 2. Your answer is 4 to the 7. Okay. When you divide two exponents which have the same base, you subtract the exponent. All right, we're going to go down to the next one. 7 to the fifth power divided by 7. So 7 to the fifth power minus what is the power of the 7 at the bottom? Yes, if you say the power is 1, you're right. 5 minus 1, so 7 to the 4th power. That's it. Easy. All right, we're heading to problem number 9 and 10. So it's the same idea. So all you have to do is subtract the exponent, right? This is y to the 7 minus 3. This is y to the 4 power. Okay, and over here, Okay, my pad doesn't let me write on it. All right, this is y to the 6 minus 4. That will be y to the second power. That's it. Easy. Okay, now we go down here, problem 11 and 12. So you have to simplify your fraction now. Okay, 30 over 5. You can reduce it by 5. Right. So that will give you what? 6 over 1. Oh, y squared and y to the fifth power. How do we do that? So y squared is y times y to the fifth power is y times y times y times y, 5 times. Okay, then each pair of y gonna divide each other out. Will give you that, and that is out. Give you 1 and 1, 1 and 1. So 6 times 1 times 1 will be 6. And 1 times 1 times 1 and a bunch of y, that will be y to the third power. All right, why do I do it this way? Because if you do it in the quotient rule, which we will learn it next week, y squared over y5, that will be y squared minus 5 is y to the negative 3. And since a negative exponent, you will bring it down to the denominator. Okay, one more time, I did the long way because we didn't learn about the negative exponent yet until next week. All right. Now we're going to look at the next problem. 72 over 81. Can I reduce this? It feels like you can reduce it by 9, right? So you will have 8 over 9. y5 over y3. So y to the fifth power minus 3. That will be 8y to the second power over 9. That's it. Easy. Number 13. All right, number 13. We have this. I can do is x times z 6 times. And over here you have x times x times x 7 times. Right. 6, 7. And z to the fifth power. One more. All right. Now what we can do is reduce them, right? Let's see if I reduce this, x and x divide each other out. Every pair of z gonna divide each other out. Boom, 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 boom. So left over with 1 z left on the numerator, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 x at the bottom. So x to the 6th power. That's it. That is the answer for problem 13. All right, we're going back with number 14. So z to the 6th power over z to the 6th power. Since they have the same power, you can go ahead and reduce them. If you want to use the long way, go ahead and write them all out. But it doesn't matter which one you're using it. I will say that since it's the same, I would just say, okay, go ahead, cross them out. They divide out. Okay, now x to the third power over x to the fifth. So x times x times x. X times x times x 5 times. Then this divide out, divide out, divide out. You have 1 times 1 times 1. Over here is another bunch of 1, right? 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, that will be 1. And 1 times 1 times 1 times x, this starts to x, and then time another x is x squared. So 1 over x squared is the final answer. All right, we almost there. Problem 15. All right, we are reducing this. 28 over 16. I can reduce it by, I would say 4. Reduce it by 4, right? So that will give you 7 over 4. V4 over V3. So V times V times V times V over 3V. And W square over W square. So they divide each other out. Gone, this gone, this gone. Leave you with 1V, this gone, this gone. So your answer is 7V over 4. That's it. All right, down here, we're going to reduce it by 5. That will give you 1 over 6. V to the third power, so 1, 2, 3. And 1V at the bottom, W, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1W at the denominator. Then we can go ahead and cross them out. V and V gone, W and W gone. So 1 times V is going to be V squared. And W, there's 4 of them, W to the 4 over 6 left over at the bottom. That's it. All right, we go down to problem 17. Okay, not too bad. So what is the power? So we have the power outside of the parenthesis. Feel like we just did this earlier. So 3 to the first power, 4 to the first power. We just need to distribute them in. So that will be 3 square, b to the 8 over 4 square, a to the 4, and b to the 12. Go ahead, pause the video if you don't know what's going on here. Okay, if you're ready, we can keep going. All right, so now we're going to work it out. 3 squared is 9, b to the 8. 4 squared is 16, a to the 4, b to the 12. That's it. Okay, number 18. We will do the same way. Power of 5 is 1. Power of 10 is 1. So we distribute 4 into parentheses. Okay, that will be 5 to the 4 power, m to the 16, n to the 24. Down here we have 10 to the 4 and m to the 8. All right, so we will do is simplifying our fraction. Wow, 5 to the 4. 5 to the 4 is 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. Times 5 again, that will be 625. M to the 16, n to the 24. Over 10 to the 4 power, so it's just like 10,000. You have 40 basically. M to the 8. Now, wow, that is a lot. I wish that I reduced earlier. That's going to help me a lot. Okay, so how do we reduce it now? This is crazy. I'm sorry. I see that I should reduce earlier. All right, if we reduce it by 5, right? That will down to 125. M to the 16, n to the 24 over that divide by 5 give you 2000. M to the 8. You know what? I can reduce one more, right? I can reduce by 5 one more time. All right. And you see, look at this one. M to the 16 over M to the 8. we can go ahead cross out 8 of them, or we can subtract them. That will give you m to the 8 on top, because 16 minus 8 is 8, n of 24. Now we go back to the number. 125 divided by 5 will give you 25. This one divided by 5 will give you 400. There's no more m to the 8 because you already subtracted from 16. And reduce it by 20. Okay, let's say if I reduce by 5 again, we kind of almost there, so I don't want to cut the corner. So 5m to the 8, n to the 24, over this divided by 5 will give me 80, right? 80. Okay, and then we reduce by 5 one last time. I know it's a lot. That would be m to the 8, n to the 24, and 8 divided by 5 is 16. So that's the final answer, is 16. You know, you can learn from my mistake by doing this from the beginning. Look, 5 and 10, you can reduce it by 2. And then 2 to the 4 power will give you 16. Look at that. You can do it faster. All right, now we go down to the last two problems. Ooh, it's too much work for that. I hope this one's going to be easy. All right. So now we're going to look at this one. 2 times 4 over 5 to the 0. And we know that whatever rate to 0 is 1, right? So this thing right here, the power just applied for 4 over 5, so that turned into 1. But we still have 2 in front of it, so 2 times 1, the answer is 2. Keep in mind, this is not 1, the answer is 2, because power just applied for 4 over 5, not for the 2 outside parentheses. Negative 5 raised to the 0, the whole thing inside raised to 0, so the answer is 1. All right, there's not much calculation on this. All right, over here, wow, it's so interesting. Now they switch the other way around. 5 to the 0. Let me write this out. Negative 5 to the 0. Because the negative sign outside of the parentheses, so the 0 just apply for the 5. So 5 to the 0, which is 1. And we bring down the negative sign again, because negative sign outside it not be affected by 0. So the answer is negative 1. Over here, on the other hand, all of this raised to 0 is inside parentheses, so the whole thing is equal to 1. The whole thing turned into 1. All right, that pretty much it. Thank you everyone for watching. I think this is the first video that is this long. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for watching, and see you all next time. If you need help, come to Tutoring Hour.